Getting closer and closer to the playoffs, these games become more and more important. What is up, football fans? Time for the picks. It is Thursday for you guys, Wednesday night for me. Actually, incredibly late Wednesday night. I went out with the wife. We got a good, my sister came over, helped babysit, and we got to go see the movies. And I went and saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. But before we get into all the good stuff, I have to tell you guys, like usual, the picks video is sponsored and presented by MyBookieAG. Go check them out. Again, MyBookie.ag. Fantastic betting site. You can bet NFL, MLB, NHL, boxing, MMA, all that good stuff. Go over, check them out. Use the promo code DouglieDoWrong. You get double your first deposit. So go over, check them out. They do sponsor the picks and the live streams, and bet responsibly. So I also have members to shout out: Gregory Theodidis, I hope I said your name right, Pamela Miller, and Jim Barron. Thank you guys so much for joining the membership. So looking at the Pick'em League, which I will be doing this again next year because this is actually really cool, we still have, I think it didn't really change. Fins Up Switzerland is first. Puppet Master at Works is second. JD Picks is tied for third with ESPN Long Number and Denzo 239. And it's very close with 6 and 7, only about a game or two behind. But Fins Up Switzerland seems to have been running away with this. You guys got to catch up. I'm far behind. I'm about 10 behind the third place. I'm pretty far behind. Maybe I can pull something out of my butt. But last week I did pretty well. Went 11-4, and my dad went 9-6. So I'm sitting at a 116-64 record, and my dad is sitting at a 101-78 record. Before we get into the picks, this picks week is different. Again, like I said in the intro, we're getting closer to the playoffs. So some of these games, I'm going to tell you who we should be rooting for to help the Dolphins get into the playoffs. Yes, Dolphins, playoffs. Yeah, we're sitting at 5 and 7, and a lot of the teams ahead of them is sitting at 6 and 6 or 6 and 5. You only a one game ahead of them have a chance to get into the wild card spot. So I will be picking who I'm picking, and then I'll tell you who we should be rooting for. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about tonight's game, which is the Thursday night game. The Dallas Cowboys taking on those New Orleans Saints, who got their butts whooped by the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving night, and it was bad. Trevor Siemian, not great. Alvin Kamara wasn't out there. They were beat up. Lost 31-6. It was bad. I thought maybe the Saints could come out, beat the Bills, and then it would be a downfall of the Bills and a little more. No, it didn't happen. And the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Raiders. And the way they lost to the Raiders was just penalties. Penalties on top of penalties on top of penalties. So looking at this game, again, I'm getting all my spreads from MyBookie.ag. Looking at this game, the Saints are actually getting 4.5. I'm going with the Cowboys. My father's also going with the Cowboys. They are the road team here, but I do think they're a better team, especially because the Saints don't really have a quarterback. So I'm going with the Cowboys, even with the spread. The next game we're going to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts heading to the Houston Texans. Colts losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-31 last week. We all thought, I don't know if we all thought, but I was like, wow, they might pull this off and beat the Bucs. But nope, that didn't happen. And the Houston Texans losing to the Jets. The spread is the Texans are getting 9. And, I'm picking the Colts. My dad's picking the Colts. Everyone, expects the Colts to win. But to help the Dolphins' playoff chances, Dolphin fans want the Houston Texans to win this one. It'll knock down the Colts, especially because the Colts have the tiebreaker in the head-to-head. We want the Houston Texans to win this one. The Colts do, and they eventually have to face the Patriots, and they have to face hard teams. So I don't expect it to happen, but that's a game where we'll be rooting for the Houston Texans. Then we have the Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions, who have still yet to win a game. Minnesota last week, I think, pulled Oh, barely pulled off a victory. Kirk Cousins just couldn't make the plays when they needed to. Again, they were facing the 49ers, which the Dolphins want them to lose so they can get a better draft pick. I'm going with the Vikings. My father's also going with the Vikings. The Vikings are giving Detroit 7. I still think they'll win by more than 7, depending on what happened with Dalvin Cook, if he can come back or not. But Detroit just... Goff is just not good. It's just Detroit. I don't know if they're going to... They might be the first team in NFL history to have 2 losing seasons of not winning a game. But I'm going with Minnesota in that one. Then we have the Eagles, who lost to the Giants, taking on the Jets in MetLife, up the road from me, who beat the Houston Texans. I'm going with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to bounce back from a loss to the Giants. My father's also taking Eagles. And the Jets are getting 7. Depending on how the offense does it, the Jets, I'd probably bet the spread again with the Jets. Might be like a close game, a 4-point game. So that's one you might want to look at. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Chicago Bears. I'm going with the Cardinals. Supposedly Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be back here. I'm going with the Cardinals. They're the better team than Chicago. My father's also going with the Cardinals. And the Bears are getting 7.5. If DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray are back, it don't matter how many points they get. I'm going with that one. Then we have the Chargers. The Chargers, losing to the Denver Broncos. Justin Herbert had a very bad game. I think he threw an interception, and I think he had a touchdown. 2 interceptions, actually. Not a great game from Justin Herbert in that one, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who beat the brakes off of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They swept them for the first time in, I think it was like 12 years or something like that. I'm going with the Bengals. My father's going with the Chargers. The spread has the Chargers getting 3, so I'd still go with the Bengals. And as Dolphin fans, we want the Bengals to win this one. The Chargers right now, I think it's the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Patriots or the Bills are the wild card teams. Yeah. And we want the Chargers to lose this one to, help us get that wild card spot. Bengals, being that they're 2 games ahead of the Dolphins right now, probably going to be a little hard to catch up on them, whereas the Chargers are only 1 game ahead. So we want the Bengals to win that one. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Easy pick, Bucks. My dad's going Bucks. Falcons are getting 11. I don't think that matters. I think it's going to be the Bucks going to beat them down. Then we have the Jaguars taking on the Rams. Rams have been I don't know what happened to the Rams. They're coming off a bye, but they just losing, especially the games that they shouldn't, like the 49ers game. I'm going with the Rams. My father's also going with the Rams. The Rams are giving the Jaguars 13. This is a game where the Rams can get back to the way they should be. They had Odell. They had Von Miller. It's like they're a Madden, a Mutt team, and they just not performing. And we're going with the Rams in that one. Then we have the Washington football team taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going with Washington in this one. I think, Washington's defense is pretty good, and I think they'll be able to get after the Raiders. My dad is going with the Raiders. Washington's getting 2.5. It's because it's in Vegas, home field advantage. I'd still go with Washington. And as Dolphin fans, if you want more help, a little bit more cushion, to get into the playoffs, we want Washington to win. Raiders beat us. They're only 1 game ahead of us, so they have that tiebreaker. The more games they lose, the better for the Dolphins. Ravens taking on those Pittsburgh Steelers. What happened to you, Pittsburgh? Ben Roethlisberger, you got to retire, my dude. I'm going with the Ravens. My father's going with the Ravens. Steelers getting 4. I'm still going with the Ravens. Steelers just falling apart there. Then we have the 49ers heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. My father's going with the 49ers in this one. I am torn. Playing at home, you would think that Seattle will get off this little skid they're on, losing to Washington on Monday night, and Russell Wilson just not playing well. As Dolphin fan, I want the 49ers to lose so we get a better draft pick. It's just going to be hard. The 49ers right now are running hot. I'm going to stick with Seattle. I'm going with Seattle. I think that they are going to bounce back in this one, home field, and they're going to win that one. Spread, Seattle's getting 3.5, even at home. I'd still go with Seattle in that one. Then we have Kansas City home taking on the Denver Broncos. Only 1 game behind them. That AFC West is a very interesting division. I'm going with Kansas City. My father's going with Kansas City. Kansas City's giving Denver 9.5. I think it'll be closer than that, so I would take Denver in that bet. And then the Monday night game, the game that of all games, I'm surprised that it's a Monday night game because Monday night games usually blow. The New England Patriots heading to Buffalo. 8-4 Patriots taking on the 7-4 Bills. If the Bills win this game, they go back on top in the AFC East. If not, the Patriots just take that more of a lead and continue to roughshod the AFC East. I am going with the Patriots. My father's going with the Patriots. The Patriots are giving 2.5 on the road. But as Dolphin fans, we want the Bills to win this game. We want the Bills to sweep the Patriots because we got swept by the Bills. So if at the end of the season the Dolphins win all their games, but the Bills got swept by the Patriots and they're 10-7, well, we'd get knocked out of the playoffs because they would take that spot. So as Dolphin fans, we want the Bills to win this game and the next Patriot game because if it comes down to the Dolphins win the rest of their game and at 10-7 is the Patriots and the Dolphins get in, Patriots don't. So we want the Bills to win this game. And then finally, we have the Miami Dolphins home taking on them Giants, coming off a big win against the Eagles. Now, I heard that Daniel Jones isn't playing, but then I also heard there's a potential he can play. Is Glennon playing, not playing? We don't know. My dad's going with the Fins. My dad always goes with the Fins. If you want to know who I'm picking, check out tomorrow's video with the Entertainer where we preview this game, and I'll tell you who I think's going to win. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of my picks. Let me know what you think of who I think the Dolphins should be rooting for. And I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. Now, I took this one from Twitter. Give my Twitter guys a chance. And this comes from Showtime Miami. And he says, what is the next evolution of Tua? Question of the day. And I'm assuming you're asking me what is his next step? Like what is something he can do to get better? Or what is something he can do to show that he's getting better? Because he is getting better. He's getting the ball out quicker. He's making his decisions quicker. He's going through his reads. He's reading the defense better. He's, shifting, making the calls, doing all that stuff. He is getting better. For me, and again, I hope I'm taking your question correctly, the next evolution would be his consistency. I have seen him make throws that, I don't know why I said throws like that. I became a medieval knight, and he makes the throws in the night, and I don't know what happened to me. I've seen him make throws where I'm like, look at that throw. That's an elite throw. The touchdown pass against the Panthers where he threaded that needle between two defenders. That was an elite throw. Great throw. But then he misses wide open Waddle for a touchdown while he's rolling out to his left. And the Panthers game, he wasn't as inconsistent. He was more on than he was off. But there was other games where it was a little too inconsistent. Even the Ravens game, again, he was banged up. He was injured. But the Jets game, a little inconsistent. That's where I would like to see his next evolution. Be more consistent. Make the throws. Make the deep throws. Don't be afraid to make those deep throws. Some people want to say, oh, the touchdown pass to Matt Collins, he put everything into it. The man was avoiding pressure and then had to get the ball out before the pressure got behind him. If you think that's him putting all of it into his throw, you don't know what it's like to try to throw with a big defensive end about to jump on your back. So he can make the throws. He just needs to trust himself to make the throws. So for me, his next evolution is to trust himself and be more consistent. But Showtime, I hope I answered your question properly. Yeah. Other than that, that's the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow breaking this down. I got I got my man, the Entertainer, on. Going to talk a lot about Dolphins, Giants. Going to be a very interesting game. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Fins up.